Welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. This is the ISO GOAT here, back again for another quick video. Let me start this by saying I'm not a financial advisor, nor do I have financial experience whatsoever. Do not invest in anything solely based off my opinions or anything that I say in this video until you've done your own due diligence and your own research first. Never throw in more money than you're willing to lose, and also make sure you have a firm understanding of crypto before throwing in any kind of money. So, happy Monday to you guys. Today is a drag. I'm sure it is for some of y'all too. Hope y'all are enjoying your day. Stay blessed. Got a couple things. Want to give you guys some updates. Quite a few things actually. First thing, this is from Uphold, Next Gen Messaging, API, and Payment Rails for Institutional Leaders. It's a short article. It has R3 Quarter mentioned. It has XDC as well. Talks about the ecosystem partners, etc. I'm not going to go too far into it. It is posted on my page. You guys can take a look at it. Everything I talk about in my videos is posted under my communities tab. Just take a look. Do a couple scrolls. If you missed the video, you can go through everything yourself. Next thing, this is from ESMA. This is the European Securities and Markets Authority. Call for evidence DLT pilot regime and review of MIFIR regulatory technical standards on transparency and reporting. Very interesting. I'm not going to get too far into it. Obviously, it talks about ISO 20022. Has DLT mentioned RTS as well. I'm not going to scroll through that, but that document, like I said, is posted on my communities tab. Take a look. Next thing, shout out to XRP Crypto Wolf for this one. Ripple anticipates the launch of a new CBDC pilot programs around the world and has thus prepared. VP of Central Bank Engagement predicts an emphasis on interoperable CBDC solutions that enhance cross-border payments. We all know that there's certain companies that have positioned themselves in regards to cross-border payments. I think that this is probably where they're going to start, and they're going to start branching into other avenues, derivatives, things of that sort. I've seen a lot of evidence to suggest that's coming. Just my thoughts, like I said. Shout out to him, give him a follow. Cool. Next thing, this talks about, what is this from? NBK.com. I'm not going to go too far into it. This is a long document. It's 196 pages, so if you got the time, all power to you. I skipped it for you and skimmed it. But it talks about QR codes, biometrics, things of that sort. ISO 20022 is mentioned. Here we go. QR codes and biometrics are both great examples of how the customer experience is improving in this area. QR codes are capable of capturing full beneficiary details to send payments. Just as an aside to this, I do think QR codes are coming. I think you might start seeing it on a regular basis. Technology is improving, and this is a daily thing. And I think at some point it will be implemented towards the masses. Obviously, we don't have mass utilization yet, but I do think it is coming down the pipeline. How long that takes, who knows? Anybody can speculate, but this is just based off documents and everything that I've seen. Back to the article. ISO 20022 allows the capture of the rich data underlying QR codes and the transmission of authentication tokens derived from biometric information. Let's see here. Other important initiatives for improving customer experience were the introduction of e-bill payment options for utilities and telecoms across Kuwait, the completion of the NBK digital wallet rollout, the introduction of the biometric credit card through MasterCard, that's a pretty big partnership right there, and the introduction of an e-remittance platform with global technology provider RippleNet, enabling instant cross-border payments for customers. Oh man, things are just so spicy. There's like so much information out there. It is crazy, and it's still mind-blowing that people think, hey, this is just going to be a company that goes away. It's a scam, it's a fraud, it's this, it's that, and it's like there's so much documentation. Like it's literally hard to cover everything. Like there's no way anybody can cover every single thing that's out there, and it's literally mind-blowing. It's under people's noses, and they still miss it. But it is what it is. That is posted on my article, on my communities tab. Like I said, it's 196 pages, so you might want to skim a little bit unless you have time to read it all. All power to you. Next thing, shout out to Michael Branch. XRP payments can now be accepted on Shopify e-commerce sites thanks to tools from crypto payment gateway Now Payments. Ooh la la, utilization, boy. I think utility is going to come, and I think this is going to be a regular thing at some point. Like I said, you're going to see this in different businesses, grocery stores, I don't know, going to the bank, like literally anywhere and everywhere. I think that it is coming. Digital wallets, etc. Like there's a lot of evidence out there to show that this is coming. So like I said, one day maybe we wake up and everything is flipped on its head. Who knows? Or this might be a slow rollout. I don't think it'll be slow. That's just my opinion, like I said. But like I said, this is one of those opportunities to get in at the ground level too, especially in the digital asset space. Like it is very young, and I think people are failing to realize that. Bitcoin's been around since what, like 2009, if I'm not mistaken. But it's like we haven't actually seen utility yet. Okay, so utility is coming, and I think at some point, like I said, there'll be a utility run in regards to digital assets that actually have, some kind of real world problem that they resolve, some kind of something. That's just my opinion, like I said. So Something to look out for. Shout out to Kurt on this one. If you're aware of how the DLT functions, the code words they use in public make it easier to predict what they will use in the future. Code words for XLM or XRP. Real-time payments, real-time gross settlement, on-demand liquidity, interledger protocol, high-value payment system, distributed ledger technology, instant settlements, cross-border payments. That's the one I see a lot. That literally anywhere and everywhere. Banking the unbanked. I know that Stellar was focused on that for sure. Replacing SWIFT and public good. Next thing, this is an article. It talks about blockchain has the potential to disrupt correspondent banking. I think that's going to be very important in regards to Ripple, XRP specifically. Price appreciation, things of that sort. Who knows when this happens? Obviously we know that they're targeting Nostro Vostro accounts right now. Like I said, I think at some point they might branch into other avenues, but they have to get their foot in the door somewhere. They're pretty much going through this lawsuit, pay-to-play type thing. At the end of the day, banks aren't just going to give them their control. Like there has to be some kind of repercussions. Some kind of money or something put in their pocket. I scratch your back, you scratch mine type thing. And I think that's what's going on right now with this lawsuit. But I'm going to go into this. Blockchain can combine messaging and transfer of money as explained above. But for international transactions, this will require an international cryptocurrency. International. XRP. XLM. What does the X stand for at the beginning? Just a thought. Anyways, Bitcoin is an example, but it is a rather poor idea to use it for international settlement from a stability perspective. This is not from me. Hey, this is what they put on the paper for the Bitcoin maxis that come to my page. It is what it is. I said what I said. They said what they said. There is no guaranteed fiat conversion rate within Bitcoin. Ripple is the most advanced startup in this field. Mic drop. Pow. That's for the people in the back. This next thing is coming from Swift.com. It's from the website. It's 6 pages, not too long. As one of the principal organizations behind ISO 20022, Swift has embarked on a program of work to investigate how the standard could be applied in environments that make use of DLT and SCs. Literally, DLT. It literally says it right there, okay? Distributed ledger technology. Just a thought, like I said. Don't shoot the messenger. The paper will argue that ISO 20022 provides an ideal foundation from which to evolve standards specific to DLT and SCs. There's a clear value, for example, in reusing reference data standards and business context from ISO 20022 since it avoids the need to reinvent definitions. DLT is obviously tossed around quite a few times in that article. Take a look. This is also from Swift. I just like this diagram that they had. So it shows like the messaging system, the different layers, trading venue, you have the broker, clearing member, etc. This is posted on my page. You guys can look at it. It's on page, what page is this? I think it was towards the end. Yeah, page 6. Distributed ledger technology, it shows like basically the difference if you incorporate distributed ledger technology versus just the messaging standard right now. So I think that's interesting. I think it says a lot. I think it's very telling, and I think it's coming down the pipeline. Just my thoughts. Next thing, shout out to Bitcoin Magazine. People in Lebanon set fire to banks after not being able to access their own savings. This sucks. As you guys have seen, like there's some banks and financial institutions, I'm not going to throw any names out there, but they are limiting your access to your own money. And people still aren't catching on to what is going on in the world. At the end of the day, like there's a reason that they're doing this. I think potentially bank bail-ins might be coming as well, just based off the things I've seen. It is a possibility, and, it's something to be on the lookout for. Like I said, make sure, obviously, you're semi-liquid, at least in my opinion. I recommend that. But, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just a regular Joe Schmo. But you're not going to tell me I can't access my own money. You can kick rocks because I will do what I need to do so that I can get my money. But just something to throw out there so that way you guys are aware. Be on the lookout. This next thing is actually from Graham Bright, who is the compliance of operations at EuroXM Bank Limited. There's basically a magazine article that talks about it. It says Ripple and the trade finance revolution. And they have a short excerpt. It's like 15 seconds for those people that say, oh, they never mentioned XRP. Oh, it's Ripple. Oh, this is Ripple. Oh, this says nothing about XRP. Oh, you're assuming it's XRP. It actually says XRP, and it's so mic drop. Anyways, you can listen to that. It's posted on my page. Check it out. Next thing, I'm going to skip that. This is from HSBC. I just thought it was interesting. I think Alan posted this, if I'm not mistaken. It says level the playing field. I just think it's interesting. Like I said, I know that that is pretty much the premise of, why we're bringing out this new fourth industrial revolution, so that way we can level the playing field. No one nation has, complete control over another nation, and I think that might solve a lot of issues in the future. Like I said, and I think a bridge currency might be pivotal in regards to that. Just my thoughts. Like I said, don't shoot the messenger. Next thing, this is from I didn't put the article in here. It's posted on my page for sure. So the ISO 20022 protocol is a standard for electronic data exchange between financial services and the payments industry. The technology involved is called distributed ledger technology, and the use of ISO 20022 is related to a messaging mechanism. As early as 2025, the ISO will in fact be the global standards for high and large value payment systems. High and large value payment systems. 2025. Okay. Couple years. Anyways, next thing. Money as the driving force of the economy. This is like a diagram. I'm not going to go too far into that. You guys can see it on my page. And it talks about the the configuration of the digital rupiah, for those that didn't know. And it has like the different tiers, how it focuses on domestic and cross-border. I'm not going to get too far in it. Like I said, you can check it out on my page. Next thing, portfolio evolution in the context of the ISO 20022 migration. I'm not going to talk heavy on this. That's a longer article, just as a heads up. This is from Citibank. We kindly remind you that in accordance with the SWIFT guidelines starting March 2023, the requirement for banks to accept payment messages, and it has some acronyms in there, in a format compliant with the ISO 20022 standard, XML format, enters into force. And then it says basically, 2025 is basically the end game in regards to, everybody being on board with it, etc. So I'm not going to go too far into that. Next thing, shout out to Michael Branch. SEC registered firm lists XRP as non-security and code of ethics. I think I mentioned this too not too long ago. I think it was like last week. But Baylor Inc., a United States Securities and Exchange Commission's registered investment advisor and broker, allows investments in XRP, which it says is generally viewed as a currency. And the United States, of course, is the only nation that says it's not a currency. Ha ha ha! What a joke. Anyways, next thing. This is from the Bank of Russia to pilot CBDC in April. This is a CoinDesk article, February 18th, 2023. The Bank of Russia's central bank digital currency, the digital ruble, is ready for its pilot phase. Woo! Said the bank's deputy governor, Olga, I am going to butcher this name. I am so sorry if you watch this video. Skorobogatova on Friday. All right. Yeah, that was probably wrong. But the project will be launched for peer-to-peer transfers between individuals and for retail purchases. I got to say her name again. Skorobogatova. That was terrible. I'm sorry. Told journalists during a fintech conference in Russia. The pilot will work on real operations for real people, but only for a limited number of them, with the 13 banks that have signaled they're ready. Very interesting. Like I said, short article. Check it out. This is from BNY Mellon. It talks about would adopting ISO 20022 for the FedWire Fund Service produce benefits. Obviously, we know there's benefits to it. I'm not going to read all that and bore you guys to death. That's on the federalreserve.gov if you want to check it out. I think it's 2 pages. Yeah, it's 2 pages. Next thing, how to prepare for ISO 20022. I'm not going to go into that. It's posted on my page. This apparently is from Patelco Credit Union in regards to ISO 20022. We are pleased the new system will allow for more information. We endorse moving the system to an international standard. We access the FedWire Fund Service using FedLine Advantage. Much of the input for the system is manual, and then it goes into details. I'm not going to go into all that. Posted on my page. Investor demand and maturing infrastructure are accelerating the adoption of digital assets. It talks about custody, execution, things of that sort, tokenization, digital cash, etc. Obviously, we know it's coming over time. It's not something that's going to, it probably will surprise some people, at least if they're not paying attention. But, you guys obviously, if you're watching my videos, I'm sure are semi-aware that digital assets are coming in the future and that blockchain is here to stay. DLT is coming. This is all being handled in the back end right now while people are distracted by this, distracted by that. But kudos to you for paying attention. I'm not going to go into that. Migration to digital assets accelerates. We all know that. I just said that. This is from ING. Swift announced a new start date of filing in transaction data in the Swift Transaction Manager. It has been moved to the end of May 2023. This means that the risk of data truncation remains for the period from the go live of ISO to the end of May, and also in the next 6 months period when the traffic is gradually built up. Ooh, I'm excited. If you haven't caught on, I am very excited, and I hope you are too. Shout out to Michael Branch. Attorney John E. Deaton has asserted that the only victory the United States Securities and Exchange Commission will likely get in its case against Ripple is that the blockchain payment sold XRP as a security from 2013 to 2017. Obviously, you guys have probably already heard that at this point from some of the other YouTubers out there, so I am not going to touch on that, but I think it's kind of interesting, like I said. And I do think that this lawsuit is probably going to end when people least expect it. You know, some people think it's going to drag out. Some people think March. Some people think, you know, February. Some people think, I don't know, December. You know, some people think next year. You know, like at the end of the day, we're not going to know when it settles, realistically. Like, you know, until they reach that golden number, you know, and it looks like the SEC semi-wins, then, you know, I don't think it's going to happen. Like I said, and that when it does happen, you know, a lot of people are going to be caught by surprise, whether it's in the thick of the night, you know, midnight, whatever. You know, I think a lot of people are going to be very surprised when they wake up and it's like, hey, it's settled. You know, like this thing has been going on for quite some time now, especially with ETHgate and everything going on. Like, come on, like this is ridiculous at this point. But won't get too far into it. This is from BNY Mellon. Custody, the foundation of future innovation. Trust the world's largest custodian for direct safekeeping and settlement of Bitcoin and Ether on your behalf. And then also under their fund service, it says leverage a market leader with comprehensive fund services supporting digital and traditional currencies. BNY Mellon's not small, just for anybody that doesn't know, not from the United States, they're not small. Like, that is like huge potatoes right there. Okay, take advantage of our global presence and commitment to quality service and risk management to launch new products. In June 2022, we sponsored a global survey of institutional asset managers, asset owners, and hedge funds that was conducted by Celent. Of the more than 270 buy-side institutional investors surveyed, 41% hold cryptocurrencies in their portfolio today, with an additional 15% saying they plan to hold digital assets in their portfolios within the next 2 to 5 years. And then there's other findings in regards to that. I'm not going to go too far into that. You guys can look at that. It's posted on my page. Shout out to Mr. Man, XRP. Ripple, parentheses, XRP. Stellar, parentheses, XLM. G20, FSB, and CPMI all mentioned in the World Bank document. The plot thickens. I have my hunch on where it's going, but I could be incorrect. Hashtag XRP, hashtag Ripple, hashtag Stellar, hashtag XLM. Just beautiful, just beautiful. Next thing, shout out to Digital Perspectives. I don't know where this case goes, but I am saying that the Reeves test, Reeves test is very important to the SEC when it comes to crypto and stablecoins. Ooh, and banks too. Will XRP become a stablecoin? Let's look. Stay to the end, you won't be sorry. Very interesting. The World Bank has already said that it sees XRP being a, they didn't say high price stablecoin, but it doesn't work at a low price. Stablecoin. XLM, XRP, both stablecoins. Just something to keep in mind. And that article is posted way down on my page. I can find it if you need it. But this talks about Target 2, DLT. I'm not going to go into that today. Here we go. Green light for ISO 20022, migration at Target 2 ECB. The Governing Council approved the start of operations of the new Target 2 service and the common components on the 20th. March 2023 confirmed. At the same time, it was decided to postpone the activation of the T2 billing process to a time shortly after the T2 start of operation. This decision was preceded by a positive vote by the Market Infrastructure Board last week. Just throwing that out there. Like I said, you can interpret how you'd like. Next thing, from Payment Infrastructure News. Clear the way for ISO 20022. The Governing Council of ECB has just given the green light for ISO 20022 migration in Target 2. Basically exactly what I just read, so I'm going to skip that. This is actually a job post on LinkedIn. It talks about the migration to ISO 20022 and they're looking for somebody. So I posted that on my page. It's out of Florida. Next thing, BNY Mellon, JP Morgan ramp up digital asset hiring. It is coming. Okay, I don't know how many times I can stress this, how many times I can say this, how many videos I have to do, but you know, it's coming, okay? Like, I think at some point, you know, use case is going to drive this market, okay? And, you know, they're already preparing in the back end, you know, to custody these assets for people, okay? To roll it out to the masses. You know, I think that, you know, PolySign might have a part in this as well, you know, based off Digital Asset Investor, Digital Perspective, some of their videos they've done. Like, I think it's going to be huge. And, you know, it's going to catch a lot of people by surprise that aren't paying attention. So just thought that was interesting, so that's why I mentioned it. This is from Ripple. We're looking for talented engineers to shape the future with us. Check out open engineering roles and help us develop new tools, capabilities, and ideas within the rapidly evolving crypto industry. This is from Ripple's website. I find it kind of interesting. We are currently in a bear market, and they are still hiring like crazy. That sounds just like a company that's going to go away to you too, right? Yeah? No? Okay, cool. Glad we're on the same page. Shout out to Kurt for this. Shout out to my guy T's Crypto Spot for dropping me this oldie but goodie. They need an international currency, right? Probably something that has no jurisdiction. Sorry, everybody decides they want to drive their car down the street right now. Okay, go. Probably something that has no jurisdiction to one sovereign nation. Kind of like those that start with an X, maybe. And I read this to you guys, so you guys already know which article that is. It is posted on my page, like I said. Shout out to Kurt again. Two of the most scalable smart contract platforms that exist right now are the Algorand and Hedera networks. It would behoove one to do their due diligence on Algo and HBAR. I agree wholeheartedly. Make sure you research. You might find some gems and something you didn't know about. Next thing, shout out to Mr. Man XRP. Have you caught on to the trend yet? These two companies have money. These two companies move money, and other companies build on them. Ripple and Stellar are partnered with Neum. Partnerships are going to be important in the future, and people will find out the hard way. Some will find out, hey, later on. Some already know, all power to you. Next thing, I'm going to skip that. The BIS actually has an innovation summit as well in March 2023. It's the 21st through the 22nd. I just wanted to throw that out there if anybody wanted to check that out, just as a heads up. I'm going to skip that. Shout out to Kurt once again. When it's all said and done, no one can ever say they didn't get the opportunity to invest in digital assets at low prices. The SEC/Ripple case has literally delayed implementation, so everyone and their mama had a chance. I agree. I've tried to tell people, I've tried to tell family, friends. I'm sure, some of my listeners as well have the same story. Some have sob stories. Some, people got on board, whatever, hypothetically, of course. But, we have the same 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. At the end of the day, if people aren't willing to take the time to invest in themselves and do the research, then, it is what it is. There's a 1% for a reason. There's a 99% for a reason. And I think, it's going to be a changing, I won't see NWO, but the world's going to change, okay? And I think there's going to be a lot more millionaires and billionaires, once utility and everything does start driving this market for those people that are paying attention and doing the research. When that happens, that I don't know. I can't even act like I know a time frame, but, it is coming, and I sleep comfortably at night knowing that, especially reading some of these documents, these reports, they really, lay a lot of this stuff out there. A lot of times they won't tell you specifically exactly, but, you see certain names on a regular basis. I'll just put it that way, okay? And there's other names that you may not see as often, and, there's 21,000 cryptocurrencies. I'm willing to bet there's not that many reports on all those, just my thoughts, like I said, so I could be wrong, but definitely behoove you guys to investigate and, do your own research, look into these things yourself. That's all I got for you all today. Like, comment, subscribe, share this with some of you love. ISO Gold out. Catch y'all in another video. Thanks so much.